What is up, my Sabronis and my cam dog lovers, my disciple of people that think that this show is mostly about Scott and not about me, the person with the name on it. You got some comments on TikTok, like they were commenting some stuff. There was some, very very pro cam dog, Mr. Cameron. So,
hey man, I don't shop for the attention. Apparently, it's funny at school. Kids are always like, "Hey, I've been watching your podcast. It's a lot of fun." I'm like, "Oh, cool. Do you watch the whole episode?" And they're like, "No, I just see it on TikTok." Well, that's like watching. It's like watching the highlights and saying you watched the game or something. I don't know, man. Whatever.
I know. The conversation with kids is weird. Like talking about it at school because like some teachers I think know now that we do it, but like not a lot do. And I always feel awkward when kids are like. They bring it up in the hallways as I'm talking to another teacher. Like, it's just something I don't know how to react to.
Yeah, and sometimes kids will be like, "Hey, what do you think about that?" And I'm like, okay, I don't mind having a casual 10-second conversation. But then when they're like, "So what do you think about the throwing mechanics of it?" I'm like, "God, come on, man. Yeah. I'm just trying to take attendance,
The two conversations I have the most are, "Let me come on. I'll talk sports with you." And I'm like, guys, your sports takes are awful. I listen to you talk right now. Your sports takes are awful. You'll never be on. And then two, I've had like two or three come up like, you should let me do all your editing. Like, as much as I'd love that, the answer's no.
Yeah, definitely no.
So, but
it's a hard.
We are
no.
grown. We got over our 500. We're at like almost 550 now.
Wait a minute. Whoa.
We didn't hit the 500 by Christmas.
Where's the microphone?
We didn't hit 500 by Christmas. It was a 4K camera, by the way. You don't even know what you're.
That's right.
You're vying for.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but yeah. Either way, I feel ripped off.
You feel ripped off?
I feel ripped off. I feel jilted.
You didn't do enough work to get it. So we are growing, and that's like I said. That 550-ish is just Apple and Spotify. YouTube is doing. YouTube videos are weird. Like some of them with you were like way low, and then the one with Chambers had a lot, and then our last one, like we usually get to like 15 to 20 on YouTube, but the Chambers one had over 100.
It's easy. Yeah, well, local people are gonna be like, "Oh, Chambers, oh
yeah." And then some of them on Apple do okay. Like we get about 20, 25-ish on Apple, here and there. And then the TikToks are so random. I can't even, like Indiana ones. If we talk about Indiana, the TikToks pop off. Indiana, Miami, they pop off. NFL things randomly, like obviously talking about the catch last week, that was the big one that really popped off.
Yeah.
And then your Cam Dogs conversations ones sometimes are hit or miss. Like the first one we talked about cereal, that got a lot. That got some good buzz. But no one seems to care about sandwiches or whatever else we were talking about before, like last week. Sometimes the side conversation, which I think is like Kelly's always like, that's what people want to hear. That's what doesn't do good. So I don't know. Figuring out. I am in no way a marketer, a video editor, a real podcaster, D, all the above, and E, any other job that you can think that goes along with this. This is the easy part. All the other stuff is hard to do to make anything worth it.
I'm just here to have a good time, and I hope both teams have fun.
Yep. How was your snowmageddon? Did you get locked in the house all day?
Actually, I've been doing a lot of snow clearing, and I brought in some firewood today, and just living the country life. Actually, man, there's so much snow outside. It's like, we got like 13, 14 inches up here, that's like, that's at least like, that's like at least like 2.5 Diegos, heights of snow. So but like I had to snow blow trenches through all the snow around my house so I can get out to my burn barrel, my garden, and just like around the house. And my dog loves it, He's like, I'm like, "Hey Cosmo, you want to go run in the snow?" And he just runs into tunnels. But it's like, I don't know, it's like when I was digging them out with the snow blower, it's like, brr, 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 I was like, oh, I feel like Charlie. And there's Viet Cong gonna pop out anywhere. I'm digging all these holes, and I'm like, it's like, where's Mel Gibson? And the days were young. It's like, we were soldiers. But it doesn't happen. I just cleared snow.
Yeah. I got a lot of snow. Got a lot of snow. And when we bought this house, they left a snowblower for us. They were moving to North Carolina. He's like, wait, we're not going to need this anymore. We'll leave it for you. And I am not one that is good with things with engines and a lot of buttons to get started on things, especially something I've never dealt with before. So I've never busted out the snowblower. I figure, like, use it when we need it. I'm young enough. I can shovel this driveway quick enough when it's a little bit. But this was snow that I knew, like, we were going to need to get this out for and be prepared. Oh, my goodness. What a lifesaver a snowblower is. The fact that in my life I've gone 29 years now of just shoveling snow by hand. This is the greatest thing I've ever used in my entire life. I mean, it took roughly the same amount of time, but the ease of it all, and then when the snow plows come around, you got 4 feet of snow at the end of your driveway because you're not considerate enough to not block you in or block your mailbox in. Getting that baby out there and it just blows it all away. Oh my gosh! I even did a path from my house to my neighbor's house. I mean, I did it all. It was very, very useful. It was very, 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 very cold though. That's the biggest thing. Our house can't keep up with the temps. Our house is freezing all.
Oh, I know, yeah, and I've been burned through a lot of wood too. But yeah, my neighbor across the road. I know, I guarantee she's not ever going to ever watch this podcast. In fact, I remember this summer when I asked her, I'm like, so what do you do for internet? And the husband, he goes, what's the internet? No joke. And he goes, internet? No, we do. I don't know, what's, I'm like, okay, no. So anyways, but she sent me this text.
We'll give her the transcript of it. We'll print out the transcript and you can give it to her, yeah.
But my neighbor across the street, she sent me a text on Sunday. It's kind of like it's like, hey, how's the first storm since you're living there? And it's like, I grew up here, but whatever. Yeah, it's like, yeah, okay. And she said, boy, isn't it nice to live in a nice warm house? I'm thinking, yeah. And she goes, well, Vince had eye surgery on Friday, and so he's been really laid up, and the earth mover is it's not starting because it's diesel, and I'm like, I know what she's gonna ask me to do, and I said, well, I can get out there. I'm getting ready to go clear mine. I'll see what I can do with yours. She goes, oh, that would be great. And I'm like, oh, I talked to myself.
You don't have to, but if you feel like it,
Yeah, I've been married for long enough. I know what that means. So I was like, yeah, okay. So I went out and I did their driveway, and so they could get out, and it was nice, and I felt like a good human being. And she came out. I thought she was gonna try and give me like cookies or something like that, and I'm like, don't worry about it. It's what neighbors are supposed to do, right? Good for you for helping out your neighbors.
Oh, yeah, of course. It was just my neighbor that was... It was my neighbor that was going to come over to my house and watch football with me, so that was why I did it.
So you had an ulterior motive.
Oh, yeah, the old lady next door, I couldn't get to her house if I tried. Too much snow. She's never going to see this podcast either, so...
That's true.
She knows that
What is a podcast? What's the TikToks? Is it true if you watch the podcast on the TikToks that a hologram will appear above my counter of you, and I can look at little Taylor and rub his little bosoms? Whatever she probably thinks about you.
If I watch the TikTok on my Wi-Fi, does Spectrum have access to my Wi-Fi?
Classic.
Can the government see my TikToks if I watch TikTok on the Wi-Fi?
Okay, what are we getting into sports-wise?
Well, we are a sports podcast. Let's get into the sports part. Obviously, there's been some hirings. There's been some hirings in the NFL and in college football. Which one do you want to talk about first? I will let you choose because I don't want to talk about either one. Do you want to do the Ohio State one first, or do we want to do the NFL's first and then?
Let's go the NFL. Let's go the NFL because that's the hot button right now. So, which one do you want to talk about?
I don't want to talk about either one because I'm not happy with either one.
Okay, tell you one. Let's talk about the Bills. Did you see the Bills?
Okay.
They hired Joe Brady.
It is either going to be a great or a bad hire for the Bills. I think Joe Brady is a great play caller. Obviously, Joe Brady was the passing game coordinator with LSU in 2019. It's really easy to call an offense when you got Joe Burrow, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Mason Taylor, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. It was obviously stacked. It's just like, hey, throw it up to Jamar or Justin somewhere. It was a great group of talent. Like Ed Orgeron, gets credit for a national championship. He literally every single game just like, go talk. Jamar Chase, Jefferson.
Give me that top of Bobby Boucher.
No, Burrow, you gotta throw a football and we're gonna go talk. It's like that's what that offense was in 2019. It was that good. Joe Brady goes to the Panthers with Matt Rule, and it wasn't great. But since he's taken over as the OC of the Bills, like the run game is number one in the country. James Cook is this year was fantastic, and obviously Josh Allen won an MVP as him being the main play caller. And so I think that it's either a boom or a bust for him. Do I think it's the Bills over the top? No, because when the Chiefs are healthy, I'm gonna pick the Chiefs again over them.
Correct. But it's like you
so
said before. It's a trendy thing. Hire young guys. He's 37. Yep. He's kind of it's not traditional like, no, we only run I formation on 3rd and 3. You know what I mean? So it's like he is part of that trend that's coming up. And you mentioned that before.
And I am all about the trend. Like that's what I wanted the Steelers to do, and they didn't. And we'll talk about that in a second. But so I think it's a good hire. It's just like for him, being the guy that's been in the building and you replace the guy, it's different if you pull that guy out from somewhere. Can it really hit? It's what Josh Allen wanted, though. Can he be the voice that does enough for the defense to be able to get the stops they need and get over the Chiefs, past the Chiefs, and in this case the Broncos in the future?
Right, and who knows what the Broncos will be? I did see like guys like J.K. Dobbins. They wanted to sign back with Denver today, and so I've seen stuff too. And Denver seems to be an up-and-coming team. However, Bo Nix had one good year. Yeah, well, a lot of quarterbacks have had one good year. It's about having 4 or 5 good years. So
the hardest part for Denver will be can they sustain the defensive dominance year after year. You can have good defenses year after year, but to sustain it to be great legendary defense year after year is really, really, really hard to do.
It is,
and I just like. It's going to be hard for them, which means you have to have Nick's level up. You have to get some playmakers, continue to get playmakers that can elevate, and not that the guys that they have aren't good and haven't been good all season long, but it's nobody that's like, hey, he's a top 3 receiver in the league or top 5 receiver in the league that can make up for mistakes when mistakes happen. If Bo Nix can continue to grow like that, then obviously that will change for him. And so I think they're going to be good. Like I'm not saying they're going to completely fall off. It just the defensive dominance is not going to be the same.
Right. And so the jury's still out on that. Yeah, you're right. The Chiefs have to do some great drafting and rebuilding around what probably Kelsey's done and everything else. So, jury's still out. I think the Bills will still be good. The Carolina thing had me a little concerned, but there wasn't much in Carolina that was very good to draw from. So, yeah, I mean, I see some goods and I see some bads.
Carolina at one point had Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. Like,
yeah,
both of those guys. I mean, Baker's done well since he's been there, and obviously Sam Darnold's about to go play for a Super Bowl, which we'll talk about.
But who else?
So I'll give the Bills.
But who else did they have?
No,
they didn't. Yeah,
I know. Yeah, we'll talk about Sam Darnold in a second. So I'll give the Bills. I'll give the Bills a B for right now. It could be an A, if it goes well for them.
Yeah.
We'll skip the Steelers last.
And honestly, though, last thing, I still like McDermott more. That's just me.
Yeah.
So it's a lot different when you're the head coach now. So.
Yeah. We'll skip the Steelers. We'll do them last. Giants, Harbaugh. I like it for the Giants. I really do. I think Harbaugh's a good coach.
Yeah.
I think that he's going to bring a toughness to that team who has some great offensive pieces next year. I think Jackson Dart, as long as he's healthy, Scadaboo, as long as he's healthy, Malik Neighbors, they have pieces, and their defense is always been like they got a front seven that matches almost anybody in the league. It's can you piece everything together in New York and in that division. Obviously, like this year was the first year that there's been repeat division winners happen. It's a division that's always up for grabs. I think it's an A- for the Giants.
I agree. I think it's a good marriage between 2 physically minded groups, the Harbaugh camp and what the Giants have with Dart, Scadaboo, in that just blue blood, lunch pail kind of wrecking ball mentality, and you compare that with what Harbaugh's done, what he did in Baltimore, yeah, I think that's a good marriage. Do I think he'll turn around in 1 year? I think if they go 500 next year, they'll be doing well. That'd be quite a turnaround just doing that, especially because you have to change that culture of. So to do that, you go 500 the first year, that means you're doing good things.
Yep. Ravens hired Jesse Minter, the former Chargers DC. He was with Harbaugh at Michigan. Also, he was a DC at the peak of the sign stealing scandal. They're throwing the ball, guys. It's throwing the ball. I think Minter is a great DC. They didn't need to cheat for them to be good. And that part of that is the defense that he runs. He's been formidable with the Chargers. I also think he's a clown. Put on the red nose. Now that he's the head coach of the Ravens, he's an even bigger clown. Now he's got the big shoes on and the small car that him and all his buddies can fit into. But I think it's a good hire for them too. I'm not going to give anything past a B, but to bring in a toughness that not that Harbaugh didn't have, but just a different toughness level. But I'm interested to see what the relationship between him and Lamar will be. He's a defensive guy, and so
correct.
But being the head coach now, that relationship with the offensive guys, I'm interested to see how that works out for them.
And see, that's the thing with all these guys, and we'll talk about the OC hire at Ohio State a little bit, but with all these guys that are like, they're really good OCs, DCs, and now you're the man and you're a top. Just because you were really good at something doesn't mean you're going to be a great coach. All we have to do is look at Oklahoma's head coaching situation, and I know Oklahoma made the playoff. Yeah, they made the playoff because the SEC's like, please save us. And so, like,
I think Venables has done a good job.
Listen, but he's an incredible defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Very average head coach. And it's just a different thing because you have to worry about everything, not just one thing. And it's just a different mentality. So all these guys that are coming up from OC, DC mentalities, how are they going to handle the whole package together? Are they going to hire is he going to hire a puppet DC? Is Brady going to hire a puppet OC and he's really the one calling? You run into that.
Well, and I think like that conversation goes hand in hand with Jeff Hafley, who's took Dolphins head coaching job. And obviously Hafley was at Ohio State for a year, one of the best defenses that we've had historically in the last 25 years. Like, and obviously there's talent. It was Chase Young, it was Jeff Okudah, it was loaded. But Hafley was great, and he was only there for a year. Goes to Boston College, was a head coach there, and it was mediocre. He didn't get fired. He just left college coaching to go to the NFL because he was tired with all the bull crap of it. Was with the Packers for the last 2 years, and now is going to go and get that chance to be head coach again. He's what I'm interested to see what you just said. Like, he's a great defensive coordinator. He's really good at his job. Can you go balance it now and be the CEO? I don't know. Jeff Hafley's got one of the weirdest haircuts I've seen since Al Davis.
Jeff Hafley, it's like a Dennis the Menace meets Kevin Spacey. Hold on. Hey, I've not seen this for a while.
We can't see your screen, right, buddy?
Yeah, I know. I'm just looking it up.
Okay.
And yeah, it is it's like a military, like a Dwight Eisenhower meets Dennis the Menace haircut.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Sean McVay times like 5 in length.
Yeah.
He goes through a whole bottle of gel a day.
I'm pretty sure. Trying to start a fire? You're still going. Oh, yes, very nice, very nice. The big thing is, does he intentionally rob grocery stores and then put his hair down? Because on the side of the door, they have the height thing there, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, I'm telling you, that guy was like 6'7".
Falcons hired Stefanski.
He's actually 6'3". Oh yeah, Stefanski. Oh, hilarious.
I think it's a good. It's like the Bills. It is either a great hire or it is a not great hire, and I don't know how I feel for it. Obviously, I'm not a Browns fan by any means, so I'm kind of rooting for him to be successful because I think it's hilarious. The question for them is Penix, and what is Penix, and can Penix stay healthy? And obviously, he did not stay healthy through college. He does not stay healthy through the NFL so far. He is good when he plays, and when he's playing well, he looks good. But man, that's the biggest question mark is Penix, and can Stefanski get his offense to work? Because it worked with Baker, and then they took the gamble on Deshaun, and ever since then it was obviously bad. And we can get our neighborhood Browns fan on here soon. Maybe next week for our Super Bowl episode we'll have Dylan in also as a third little guest for us. And he can also kind of give the perspective of a Browns fan because, they've seen obviously more than we have. But I think it's an interesting hire. And
what do you do? Do you trade Cousins for a draft pick? What do you do with Cousins? And then they have the old Ohio State commit Emory Jones in the background there too. So I'm interested to see, what they do quarterback situation-wise.
Yeah.
But here's the problem with Stefanski. The dude has a man's beard, okay? Like the Just for Men commercials, he's not only the president and CEO, he's also, so but he's guaranteed to do one stupid thing a game, and that will completely change the game.
Because of the beard?
Not necessarily.
Well, what does the beard have to do with it?
It just has a beautiful beard. Listen. I did a gig on Friday night in Cardington at a place called Fulton. It's called Boondocks, and this guy was there at the bar, and I'm not kidding. This guy had an immaculate beard. I mean, it was beautiful. And I told the guy, that's a beautiful beard, and that's a very full beard, but I'm really worried what your back looks like.
Robert Saleh to the Titans. What do you think about Saleh to the Titans? And I think Saleh got dealt a bad hand with the Jets, and then he, I believe it was, Dable is taking the OC job for the Titans. I just don't understand the fascination with these guys. They wanted to go to Tennessee. I think Tennessee is still a dumpster fire. I think looking back on it, I think Cam Ward shows signs of being okay. But when you think about it, I think that Cam Ward and Mendoza the last 2 years have been two of the most fraudulent Heisman winners. No, I guess Cam Ward didn't win. Travis Hunter did, but Cam Ward was a finalist. Travis Hunter and Mendoza, along with Cam Ward being in that conversation, this is an error on my part. Miami people, I'm not an idiot. I know he didn't win it. I made a mistake. Okay, I spoke wrong. He was a finalist though. He's number one overall pick. I think there's some fraudulence to him. I like last year's draft is not a quarterback heavy draft. He would not be a top 3 quarterback in this draft. And so there's nothing about Tennessee that makes me think that's the place I want to go, other than the fact that they're building a state of art new stadium. And Dable took that job. He wanted to go there.
Well, here's the thing. Steve McNair is not running out that tunnel. And nor is Eddie George.
Not running anywhere else.
No. Wow. That got really dank. But rest in peace, Aaron McNair. So the big thing is Tennessee, you're right. It's not much different than the Jets, to be honest. And I think this is going to be a big season for Cam Ward because it is going to be one of those things where it's okay, now you got a different coach. Are you a bust or... And I'm telling you,
there were flashes for him. It's just consistently, it's is it there?
Do you want me to predict the future? Hot take. I think if the Bengals don't do anything in the next 2 years, Joe Burrow is going to want to trade or is going to leave Cincinnati. Without that quarterback there, don't be at all surprised if Cam Ward has some sort of signs of life. That he might end up in Cincinnati because that would be around the end of his rookie contract. Just saying, I could see that potentially happening. So
Joe Burrow's gonna be Minnesota.
I'll rub my genie lamp. I don't have a genie. Here's an old thing of writing utensils and scissors, but I'm rubbing the lamp.
Joe Burrow will be in Minnesota next year, after next season.
You think so?
All right. Before we get to the Steelers, because obviously that's the big one of the conversation.
For you.
One more to talk about is Eric Bieniemy is going back to Kansas City as the OC, which is, it's kind of like hey, you were wrong, I was wrong. Let's go make things right. We needed each other.
I feel like, you remember the rumors where, is Chip Kelly going to return to Ohio State? And I want to be like, that might not be a good idea right now. And I feel that way a little with Bieniemy, a great running back in his day, by the way. But it's like, man.
What if it goes and it works, though?
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's going to work.
Yeah.
All right. Obviously, the big one.
Hold on. I'm going to preface it with this, though. Did you ever have hand-me-downs as a child?
No, I was the oldest.
Correct. So you're not used to this. Okay? So I'm going to listen. So whatever you're getting ready to say, hand-me-downs, for those of you who are not Midwestern or poor, okay? Hand-me-downs are when your sibling that's older than you gets all the cool new stuff. And they don't give two craps about the younger kids. They always give them the hand-me-downs. Oh, older Taylor is, he's already done with those pants, so it goes down to little Billy, and little Billy now gets to wear this pants that have the holes, the stains, and God knows what else. So, congratulations for the Pittsburgh Steelers being the hand-me-downs of the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers and
White Mike. So here's the thing. Obviously, Tomlin steps down, and McCarthy, we knew was gonna apply for it, interview for it. He's a Pittsburgh guy, from the Berg, one of them Yinzers, and yeah, it's a fun story. Great, let him have an interview. Blah blah, this and that. It came down to, I think, him, Shula. I can't even pronounce the dude's name. The Rams passing coordinator.
Yeah.
It's like Shieldhouse or something.
Shieldhouse, yeah.
Yeah, he was the one I wanted because he's a McVay offensive guy who, just like Liam Cohen, just like Zach Taylor, just like a handful of guys have got to be under the McVay offensive tree. Do I think he's gonna go right away, be the greatest offensive mind? No, but I think he's been under there enough to for it to mean something. And he's who I wanted, young guy who can grow and be part of, because Chuck Noll, 20-something years. Cowher, 16 years. Mike Tomlin, 19 years. I mean, we talked about this last time, the length that they've allowed these coaches to be there and grow. And I thought that they were going to continue that young, trendy thing.
Well, here's the thing, and I don't think that's necessarily. I think you're right, and that's kind of what Buffalo did, right? And so here's the deal. Mike McCarthy is and like Tomlin, he's a quality human being who's a really good guy who has a lot of strength and ties in the community, and he gives a lot in the community. However, like Tomlin, he's going to go 10-8.
This is exactly what I was getting at. It is a copy and paste. They copied it and they pasted it in, and this time the picture got distorted and it just came up. It's white, and instead of being black and white, it's just white now. And it is copy and paste the exact same thing with Mike Tomlin. I think that McCarthy seems like a great human being. His press conference was a nice emotional, he got emotional about it, talked about being a Yinzer, all those things. I grew up a Steelers fan. This is a dream job, right? This is the dream job. But it is just, he's going to go 10-7. We're going to make it to the playoffs, and we're going to lose. And we are in the same boat that we have been for the last 9 years. The last 9 Tomlin years has been this. And the same, and the whole point of letting him walk away and going and get something else was to bring in a new energy, a new meaning, a new philosophy to Pittsburgh football. That doesn't have to be, it's not 1970 anymore. We don't have to set the ground game up and run the rock 25 times and play great defense. I know that's wins football, but also winning football is adapting to what is now. And I think that McCarthy McCarthy is a better offensive mind, but the whole message that you just gave by hiring the same exact type of coach is there's no change. And I think it is like I said, it's copy and paste. It is copy and paste of what we just had for the last 9 years, and that's the part that I think Steelers fans are most frustrated with. Not that McCarthy's not a good coach, but he's 62. He signed a 5-year contract. Like, he's not going to be there forever. This is not another 15-year type of guy. Like, I just don't see him being there until he's 77. Now, if he wins the Super Bowl in the next 5 years and then retires and whatever, it's a win, obviously. But I just don't see it happening. And, like, not with him.
Now, do you remember just a couple minutes ago, what did I say their record was going to be?
You said 10-8, which is impossible because they only play 17 regular season games.
Incorrect. It would be 10-8.
Yeah, they don't count your regular season and postseason together.
I know, but they're going to go 10-8 overall because he's not going to take him past the first round of anything. That's the thing. If you think about like the great teams he had at Green Bay, and the great runs, and it was like he's just a better version of Kevin Stefanski, and that's why he didn't last in Dallas. He would have these decent teams, but then just there was something where it's just something he did, it just did not work. And only one team can win it. I understand that. But it's just like constant, like, dude, you're loaded. How did you not do better than this? And that's the problem. And you guys are going to be starting fresh for the quarterback, probably. So
probably. No, I think we're going to bring Rodgers back. They're going to bring Rodgers back. It's going to be 2017 Green Bay again, except much older. No Devontae Adams on our end.
That's true. Well, maybe if you could peel him from the Rams, maybe he might come back for the old family reunion. Who gets the family Bible?
At the family reunion, who we introducing? All right. Let's get off the NFL for a quick minute. We'll talk some Ohio State, talk a little bit of some transfer portal news because there's been some quirky things that I don't like about. We complain more and more every single week, and then we'll talk about those NFL games to end it. You know what? Let's get the transfer portal talk this week. We get into it every week. We'll just quickly highlight the bull crap with Miami and Mensa. Let's do that real quick. So Darian Mensah obviously signed like a 2-year deal with Duke last year. Has a good year, leads them to an ACC championship, and Miami loses in the playoffs. And they're like, "Hey, Mensah, we know that you're at Duke, and we know you're in class right now, and the transfer portal is actually over. But here's $10 million." And he's like, "Hey, Duke, see ya." And they try to sue, and there's just not enough. Not enough background, and there's a lot going on with Clemson right now. Ole Miss trying to steal some dude from Clemson, and the ACC commissioner called up Greg Sankey. He's like, "Hey, you gotta do something about this." And the dude's like, "You got your own team stealing a quarterback from your ACC champ for $10 million. Like, until you get your crowd together, we're not." And there's just, again, we get through this every week because there's no regulation in college football. It is just blah blah blah, bunch of bullcrap. It is unfair to everything. Like, the fact that this can happen, the fact that Miami can go, "Hey, here's $10 million. There's nothing that they can do about it.
Correct. It's Will Smith's Wild Wild West, and the asylum is run by the inmates, and that's the thing. Now, what am I saying by that? Am I saying that the inmates should have no rights? And no, that's not what I'm saying. But clearly, this has gotten out of control. What was, hey, Billy and Jerome went to go sign autographs for $100. They should, okay, that we're talking, a few $1,000s versus now tens of millions of dollars now. That's why we have dingleberry nuts coming back from the G League and the NBA to play basketball at Alabama. What are we doing? Now, granted, I know that players play in Europe. They play pro ball, and then they come to the United States and they play college ball. Ohio State has one of those. I don't particularly like that. I don't agree with it. But if we keep letting this stuff happen unregulated, it's only going to kill the sport faster.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about too much because we do every week, and we can get deeper into it when football's over. But NIL was supposed to be this: if you were an academic major, or you were a player, you were in the best damn band in the land, you were a band member, and you need a little bit of extra cash, you could go you give trumpet lessons to a kid. And you could make some cash by giving lessons and doing whatever, using your name, image, likeness, essentially. Hey, I'm a trumpet player in the band. Let me give you some lessons, right? Yeah. Or if I write a book, if I'm an English major and I write a book, I can sell that book in college and make some money off of it. It's my name, image, my likeness. It's my work, right? That's what NIL should have been for college athletes. Is
right.
Like, you're right. Hey, we're a local car dealership. Come sign some autographs for us. We'll pay you, a good chunk of change. We appreciate you. Or even in Ohio State's case, like, hey, here's my stuff. Give me some tattoos. Like, you earn that stuff. You can sell it for your tattoos. But the fact of the matter is like now we just allow these schools to, hey, it's a limited amount of money. Whatever you want, it's a blank check. We can give it to you. Oh, that school's calling you. See ya. Or we'll match it or not. Or like, oh, you want to leave after 1 year? Okay, see ya. Like, it's just, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Speaking of ridiculous,
by the way,
Ohio State.
Hold on. Have you seen the Carnell Tate HVAC commercial?
Yes, I think so.
It's so obvious that, listen, he's an academic All-American, but it's so obvious that dude probably couldn't even turn on a chainsaw. He was like, that's a really nice seal you got there, Clarence.
Listen, he got a good check, I'm sure, for it.
Oh, sure, absolutely. But
that's fun. Like, that's what that's supposed to be. Is go be in a commercial, make a little bit of cash.
Yeah.
If you're a Columbus like HVAC company, like that's the best thing good doing is go get Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate to be in a commercial for you.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ohio State, we made an OC hire over the weekend. We made it. We had no coaching positions open. So when Hartline was on staff, he was receivers coach / offense coordinator. He leaves, and they fill in the wide receiver role with the LSU guy. Obviously, there's no open positions of coaches that can be full-time coaches. And when I mean full-time coaches in college, you have the number is like 10 or something, of full-time coaches who are coaches on the field, coaches during game day, coaches during practice, and then coaches that go out and recruit. They had no openings of that by bringing in the LSU receivers coach, who is now our receivers coach. I don't even know his name yet. I haven't cared enough to learn his name.
Shantez, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, but they hire
Shantez
Arthur
sounds
Smith
like a stripper. I'm sorry.
Cortez Hankton. Yeah, Cortez Hankton.
Spanish conquistador from LSU.
So they hire Arthur Smith to come in and be the offensive coordinator. He is not on the recruiting trail. He's basically an offensive analyst. Who's going to be the offensive coordinator. He's going to call the plays. He's going to coach plays up during practice. He's going to call the plays. Apparently, they're working on doing the same thing with Matt Patricia, is what I've been reading. Like, hire another defensive coach and make Matt Patricia only a defensive coordinator who doesn't. It's again, there's no regulation, so Ryan Day's going to break all these rules and nobody's going to do anything about it because there's literally no regulation. I, as a Steelers fan, as an Ohio State fan, it was like back to back. Like, it was like Mike McCarthy, really? That's who we went with? And then, like, within like 3 hours, it's like the Buckeyes just hired Arthur Smith as your offensive coordinator. I was a lot more angry about it on Saturday or Sunday, whatever day it was, than I was as I am now. I've settled down with it a little bit right now. But go ahead and give your thoughts first.
So, if you watch the Steelers' offense this year, not the most overly impressive all the time. That's a nice way of saying it. I know his track record. He's had head coaching experience. He's had a lot of OC experience. The problem is you're dealing now with college kids. Now they are paid and they're NIL, so they're a little bit like pros, But I am worried about the extravagance of what he will be able to call with all the different playmakers. In the NFL, the parity line is so thin. So many games are so close. Whereas in college, it's like, oh no, you have like at Ohio State, these 10 guys are like 10 of the top 100 players in the nation. Okay, athletes wise, and so you don't have to be like, on 3rd and 2, we are going to run in the A gap, or we're going to run a counter trap. Like, no, dude. Like, put your athletes out in space. So I don't know if he's going to be able to see, like, use your athletes because these guys are better than these guys over here. Dominate that way. Where in the NFL, it's like, you know what I mean? And so I'm interested to see how aggressive he will be and now he will utilize the playmakers that he has. Do I think it's a good idea for recruiting? It's like, hey, we got 2 NFL coaches here, really 3 if you count Day, almost. So that's good for, that'd normally be great for recruiting, but with NIL, and Duke, guys can leave and get mad, and so it's, I don't know. I'm a wait and see kind of guy on this one.
Yeah, I was originally doom, and I'm a little bit like doom and gloom, and now I'm a little bit more like I've come around a little bit, and so obviously when I first think about this, and I'm gonna give my friend Mr. Jeremiah Bright, JB, I'm gonna tag you on this, and then you're gonna hopefully watch the podcast for the first time. Called me, tried to make me feel dumb on Facebook when I posted about this, and I said just like how I'm disappointed in the hire. If you've watched, the Steelers' offense the last 2 years, there's nothing about it that screams like this is. Now, the Steelers' offense for the last 15 years has been very stagnant, and so what we have got has been better. But it's just like it just didn't elevate to what we wanted as Steelers fans. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is old, and we had no receivers outside DK Metcalf. I mean, how many times have I gone on here and said that our second best receiver is our running back or our tight end? Like, the fact that that's the case is not good for your team. And so, obviously, he's going to come into Ohio State. He's already going to have a receiver. Jeremiah Smith right now is better than DK Metcalf. I would take Jeremiah Smith over DK Metcalf 10 times out of 10, right?
Jeremiah Smith is an all-pro, is an NFL all-pro in college.
Yeah. And we're going to have, Kenneth Gainwell and Jalen Warren have played well this year. They were the highlights of the team in the run game. The run game definitely improved. And some of the trick plays that he did bring in were something that we haven't seen in Pittsburgh. The thing that we got upset with as Steelers fan was how stagnant it was of screen passes on second and long, settling for a screen pass, or third and long. Not even third and 25, third and possible, the third and 9 trying to run a screen. That just doesn't work. It just doesn't feel like you could see it coming from a mile away. It's like, why are we doing this? Part of it is maybe 47-year-old Aaron Rodgers. Part of it is trying to be overly creative sometimes. I think that's the lasting picture in my mind of Arthur Smith, and so part of that is why I was so frustrated early on. Now, do I think that he's going to come in and improve the run game? I do. I think our run game obviously needs to be improved. Under Chip Kelly, our run game was explosive, running gap schemes, running zone schemes, running all those different things that we had only been running zone for forever. I think Arthur Smith will come in and continue that. And this is where JB gets a shout out. This is where my buddy Jeremiah Bright. This is where he said the balance of him and Ryan Day can be what works. I think we all know that Ryan Day, in his prime of calling plays, is able to stretch the field vertically and get good passing concepts with good receivers. And we might have got away from that a little bit, but for whatever reason, I think that when Chip Kelly was having a great run game and Ryan Day can then balance it, and I think that's where this relationship between those two is going to be a balance that Hartline and him just didn't have. And I don't know. I'm not trying to be an anti-Hartline guy, but looking back on it, was this last year successful on offense as we thought it was? The last 2 games clearly showed it wasn't. Whatever was going on, it just didn't work. I think that we need a guy that's going to come in that his job is solely to be an offensive coordinator, and that's what he is. And those two can almost marriage their 2 offenses together. And I think that Arthur Smith's run game, his kind of trickery, and Ryan Day's pass game, if they can merge those together and it can be explosive, then I'm all for it. The only problem is that Arthur Smith is also like Ryan Day was this year. The offense slows down. It's stagnant. We cannot waste games with possessions that aren't there because we play so slow. And I just sent you earlier the Buckeye schedule for the year. And it is a freaking gauntlet. It is tough. It is to go 10-2, 11-1 is a miracle. And we deserve to be in the playoffs with 2 losses. If you lose 3 and we don't get it, I'm not going to be here next year demanding that we should be in. Of course I'll argue for if Ohio State's 9-3 with this schedule, depending on the games they lose. But if you go 9-3, you don't guarantee yourself in. But at the same time, too, if you win 10 of these games, you get in the playoffs, you are ready.
Yeah.
Ball State, whatever. At Texas, week 2. Illinois, week 4. At Iowa, week 5.
Don't you dare discount the Zips, or not the Zips, but the Kent State.
You don't even know who you're talking about.
The Kent State. Well, I heard that they almost didn't have a football team anymore.
Okay, so see you.
So
Don't discount them.
home
Illinois
of Nick
at
Saban.
home.
Don't
at
you
Iowa.
dare disrespect the home of Nick Saban.
October 17th at noon. It's at noon at Indiana. I hope Indiana doesn't lose till then. I want to be the team that breaks their streak. You get a bye at USC, then home versus Oregon. Northwestern at Nebraska, home versus Michigan. I mean, it is a tough schedule. It's the toughest schedule in the conference or in the whole nation. And so we cannot play slow. We cannot be in one possession games. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games that are worthy of being within one possession in the fourth quarter. And if we limit ourselves because we want to play slow, because our offense coordinator and our head coach want to be slow, that will be the detriment to our team going forward, just like it was the last 2 games of the season. If they can learn to pick up the pace, and when Aaron Rodgers ran his 2-minute drills versus Baltimore, that's when things progressed and we looked better and we looked explosive. Right. Here's the thing with Arthur Smith. There were games where we were putting up 28, 31, 34 points. Then there's also games where you put up 6, 10, 12 points. In Columbus, that's not acceptable.
Nope. And here's the thing. At Texas, I think that one might be a difficult game, yes. At Indiana, of course. At USC, that one doesn't really make me as nervous.
USC's going to be good next year.
Yeah,
USC's going to be good next year.
But that one doesn't make me as nervous as actually, I'll tell you the game that makes me more nervous than at USC, at Iowa.
Yeah.
I think that.
Think about it. You're at Texas, at Iowa, at Indiana, at USC. Like, that's a tough. Just those are your 4 road games, and then you get, like I said, obviously Michigan, Oregon, and Illinois at home. Yeah,
and that's the thing. So you are talking about, looking at that schedule. You have Texas, Illinois, maybe a top 25 team. So I'll just keep them down though. Indiana, USC, Oregon, and probably Michigan. So yeah, you have 6 or 7 at least ranked teams, and probably 3 or 4 of those are going to be top 10 when it's all said and done. So,
and that's why when we win a national championship next year, even going 10-2 in the regular season, and then you get in the playoff, you win a national championship, it's gonna be like, hey, we earned it. We earned this. We played a tough schedule. We earned it.
Yes, if we get through there. But I've said this before. I have deep considerations and concerns with depth. Do
not waste a Jeremiah Smith last year. Do not waste Jeremiah Smith last year.
Right. So, but that's the thing. When you're talking about depth and you're playing that many hard games, depth is important. And I have concerns and questions about that because we just let a bunch of our 4-star and a couple 5-star guys walk right out the door with money, and I get that, but it's like that's that depth. So, no, they may not have been starting next year, but those are good replacement athletes.
Yeah, I'm also gonna act like though that I'm gonna believe that no team has depth anymore. Because of this, no team has depth. Now it's who could be the healthiest. Who could be the healthiest? Obviously, be a big part of it. Jeremiah Smith gets hurt. Julian Saying gets hurt. Bo Jackson gets hurt. It's gonna be a long season.
And that's why Anthony Schlegel coming back for Ohio State is a good. That's why it's a good pickup.
Oh man,
and maybe that's a thought process.
Have you ever heard him talk? Have you actually got to listen to him speak at all?
Oh yeah. Well, in person.
I was at a coach's clinic a few years ago, and he was talking, and just him and Bobby Carpenter, those are the two type of guys. They start talking, you just listen, and Schlegel is it's crazy, man. He is just it's just so it doesn't matter. His house can be set on fire, his cat can die, and he could probably find out that he has cancer of his own, and he'd walk in. Today's a great day. He is that type of guy. It's a hard mindset to live with, and he does. I mean, you could just tell he is every single day just lives life to the absolute best of what it can be. NFL, real quick, go back one more time real fast. The games the other day, defensive battle in the first one, offensive shootout in the second one. I found myself rooting for the Rams, but I don't care. The Seahawks, it was a good, fun game. Sam Darnold is playing in a Super Bowl against the Patriots, who Robert Kraft has been to 12 Super Bowls with 3 different head coaches and 3 different quarterbacks. He is the greatest owner in the history of sports, Robert Kraft. It was like that before, and now it's just think about this. Back-to-back 4 and 13 seasons, you lose the greatest coach of all time, you lose the greatest quarterback of all time, and within a 6-year span, he is back in the Super Bowl with Drake May and Mike Vrabel.
I will agree that he's definitely Mount Rushmore ownership. Yeah. You know, and he, by the way, he looks so old and decrepit. He's like Jerry Jones under the Dallas Cowboys. But he, yeah, I was a little bit surprised at how Denver hung in the game and actually did. And if not for a very dumb backwards pass, the Patriots might have very well lost that game.
Yeah.
And so I got to give credit to the quarterback, Jason. What was his name? He was from Georgia or something.
Jared Stidham.
Stidham. Auburn, that's right.
He played well. I
know he's an SEC guy, but yeah, he did okay. He did a great job. You know, Barrett. He was trying to just manage the game, but you could see that Patriots defense just kind of
once that weather hit, there was no offense going at all.
Yep.
So we'll obviously
hold on. I have to eat crow. Sam Darnold has ended up being an incredible quarterback, or at least he's having a great year. And when you look at where he came from out of college, and him laying that big giant, 30-foot turd, his first couple years, he's done a great job. Can you hear me? Okay.
And obviously, you can't count out the Patriots, and we will do a big Super Bowl. Yeah, I hear you. You said that he laid a turd and
30,
out of college and stuff. Obviously, you're a little, yeah. We'll do a full Super Bowl breakdown next week, full predictions and breaking it all down. But real quick with Sam Darnold, I am impressed with him. Obviously, last 2 years, last year Minnesota, great regular season, and then making it to the NFC Championship game, and then this year bringing Seattle to the Super Bowl. I mean, that was basically they lose Geno Smith and then they bring him in. They've been really successful. And I'm not going to say that I called this, but what did I say in our Christmas episode? All Sam Darnold needed was a little bit of these, and then he got those for Christmas, and now the Seahawks are playing the Super Bowl. They got the night vision goggles, and now he's playing the Super Bowl. And you can't count out the Patriots. It's gonna be a great offense versus a great defense. But I think that inevitably this is looking like it's going to be a Seattle Super Bowl.
Ooh, you're going with the Seahawks, huh?
We'll make our predictions next week.
Make the predictions next week. The throws
I'm
he was
rooting
making.
for the Seahawks. I love Rabel. I love Rabel, man. I love Travion Henderson, obviously. I do not want to see the Patriots win the Super Bowl. So I'm rooting for the Seahawks, even though Mike McDonald is he's a Michigan guy. But they got JSN. JSN deserves it.
Right. And so that's the thing. I'm impressed at the reads that Darnold was making, the throws he's making. He was good timing on crossing routes. I got to give it to him, man. And he moved out of the pocket and did some great things. And he's, in my mind, if you don't give him the most improved player or something like that, like that dude, I got to give credit.
Last year, he deserves it again this year.
Yeah, yep. And what's wrong with giving it to a guy 2 times in a row? So, we'll give predictions about the. We'll give predictions about that next week.
Okay. Do you want to do Cam Dog's conversation?
Yeah. So, in honor of Alex Honnold, you and I were talking about this. You and I both watched the Netflix special. That dude was free climbing something in like Taiwan, right? That big
Taipei 101.
Yeah, Taipei 101, whatever. Is that a class? So I think Robert Kraft went to something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Anyway,
he climbed that building. He's just like,
hold on. Let me tell this dang story.
Sorry.
So
you just keep going and going. I have to set the tone sometimes.
I wonder if he needs a kicker. Anyways, so sorry, or quarterback. Anyways, which everyone's watching because it's snowy and stormy, so everyone's watching this stuff, and it's like, oh my gosh. And so you have that. And in Taiwan, what they said, they had some earthquakes that day and all sorts of stuff. The guy's just like, all he's doing is like climbing stuff like he's like a chimpanzee, and like his fingers were like, they were wide, man. They were like those. They were like a Costco hot dog, man. They're like,
he's got some thick, meaty fingers. Yes.
Thick, like the SpongeBob episode, thick, meaty claws. And he's like, just climbing that thing. And every once in a while, he'd like put his hand behind his back like a turd bucket behind him or something. He's like, pulls out the stuff and he's like, so he's like meaty, like powdered, sugar covered hot dog hands. But that dude just did some awesome stuff, and he climbed up to the top, and he took the selfie, and I'm like, show off. But then, like, that got me thinking, and I think you're right, too. This is a great conversation piece. What's the tallest thing that you think you can free climb at your age now? Not like in your prime when you're like 16.
No, right.
Right now. Okay. Right now. What do you think?
First off, like you said, yeah, that guy, and we started watching this documentary about climbing the El Cap and that whole thing, and you know what? It's obviously inspired him just now to go climb the most random things. And he is kind of funny. Like he's very nerdy, dorky type of dude who's low key kind of funny. Yeah. But he's just like, afterwards he's down with his wife, and she's like, "Oh, I was so nervous about this and that." He's like, "I like climbing tall buildings." Like
he's a Fernando Mendoza. He's free climbing.
I like.
That was the antithesis.
She's like, I was so nervous. I was worried. He's like, it was fun to climb the building.
I enjoyed climbing the building. It was my favorite.
So the tallest thing that I could free climb right now, free solo, is my shed in my backyard. I think I could free solo to the top of the shed. You give me a rock wall, like I could, like the rock wall, whatever, like a regular, regular wall.
I could get up there.
Okay,
those
I'm not
are designed to
rock wall.
climb.
Yeah, I think I could get onto I could get on top of my shed. Maybe find like a neighbor's shed that's like a little bit taller than mine. Like I could get a good grip on the side. My fence is right there, so I could use the fence to like get my foot on, and I could get on top of it. And I could scale that.
And by the way, all these terms like smoosh or smash, swish or whatever, like, oh yeah, it's when you take your hand and you gradually cut it across the crest of this, whatever, dude.
You coddle it with your backhand and get your fingers right into the depth of the.
You know what it sounds like to me? A pulled groin. The tallest thing that I think I could free climb right now would probably be George Mirasan.
I don't know who that is.
Look him up. Go on, look him up. George Mirasan.
George
Mirasan.
How do you spell it?
He's Slovakian, so it's more like horror. Like,
okay, I got you. Yeah.
How tall is he? How tall is he?
7 feet 7 inches.
Pretty tall dude. I can free climb that. I can like, especially if he's standing like Kurt Signetti, like that.
Yeah.
That thing, like I could put a foot in there and like.
Here's what I think we could do. I think if you went to like a high school and they pushed all the bleachers in all the way, I think we could get up a decent amount. I think we could, and you don't get to use like the steps part because that's got some good grip. You have to go in the middle where it's all the seats layered up.
Right.
I think the hardest part will be your footing. Your footing will be the hardest part.
Correct.
Can you take the correct angle and take your foot and crevice it into the appropriately every time? That would be the hardest part.
If I climb George Mirasan, I want one of those powdered sugar things on the back of my belt band, not to get grip. But that thing better have powdered sugar in it, because I'm going to want to eat that stuff on the way up, because I like powdered sugar.
Yeah, I bet you do. What do you think he was listening to? Because, again, he is a weird dude. I bet it was like, he was listening to like an audiobook of like...
How to climb a building?
Climbing buildings for dummies.
Climbing for dummies?
I was going to say like A Tale of Two Cities. But like on like 0.5 speed. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Or like Harry Potter or something like.
You're a wizard, Harry. Ishmael.
No, I said he was
like
listening
the
to Eye of the
Telltale
Tiger.
Heart. It got louder And louder. And loud.
He was probably listening he said a playlist and it got put onto his like shuffle, but it was like the not shuffle, the loop it, but it was looped on the same song over and over. So you got stuck listening to like Thunderstruck for an hour and a half.
Fireworks. Baby, I'm a firework.
At that point in time, I would have taken my sausage chalk fingers and took my headphones and threw them out if I had to listen to Katy Perry's Fireworks more than 2 times. Back to back, I'm okay with. Katy Perry's Fireworks more than 2 times in a row? Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's mostly because it's Katy Perry.
Don't be dissing. Katy Perry's got some legendary stuff, all right?
Okay. But anyways,
oh my gosh, no, I can't even believe that I just said that. See, if you didn't listen to the Chambers interview, I'm sure, you still didn't go back and listen to it. I was talking about the white girl music with them and how I can't stand their white girl music. Look what they're doing to me. Look what they're doing to me.
You're a Swiftie. Just acknowledge it.
No,
the thing is,
never
like,
will be. Nope.
Climbing a person, it's easy to climb things that are designed to be climbed. Climbing walls, bleachers.
I think the bleachers is a good answer. The bleachers and my shed are a good answer. That's not a weak answer.
But climbing people, there's something to that. You know, realistically, what's
but
something
you line up perfectly with that dude. Half his body, you line up. You walk right in front of him, you're going to be lined up perfectly with already half his body, and you're going to get so excited when you walk up to him because of just like what's about to happen for you as you're about to like start climbing up. Anything else for the good of the order?
He's pretty tall. He could probably like breastfeed me or something.
Anything else for the good of the order?
Standing up.
It's been a fun.
Hey, stay warm, everybody.
How many? You don't think we're going to work Thursday, Friday? Or did I convince you?
I will not pigeonhole myself with an answer.
Part of me wants to have the whole week off, but part of me is also like, we need to go to work because these kids are going to get so far behind. We're on acceleration right now, and we can't accelerate through the content.
A change in velocity will do that. You know,
over a period of time.
Over a period of time, of course. T1 and T2. So, you know, I will say this. I am deeply in love with the educating, maturation, and improving student learning experience that I'm able to offer all students of all backgrounds and learning styles. I think we need to go back to work.
Yes.
This has been brought
for some
to
of
you,
those kids.
This has been brought to you by Pearson.
Some of those kids, the best relationships they have are with people like us, and not the people that maybe they don't get to see at home. And the safest place for them is our building, where they get the most amount of meals and warmth.
And trash
and
talking.
naps.
Yeah.
That is also brought to you by Pearson.
Yeah, right, yeah.
All right. Well, I look forward to our Super Bowl episode next week. Maybe we get a third person in here and get a perspective from a Browns fan.
Well, real quick, are you going to watch the Pro Bowl, yes or no?
No, I don't watch any of that. Shador Sanders is a Pro Bowler now. It's a joke.
It's a joke.
I want to have a Hall of Fame conversation here soon, and so much of the Hall of Fame for the NFL is it used to be Pro Bowls. Like Pro Bowls used to matter. Pro Bowls don't matter anymore. It's like an All-Star game. It doesn't matter anymore. So,
by the way, I just want to note that I'm thinking about next week wearing a toboggan cap because I look a lot like Yukon Cornelius or whatever it is from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I
don't care what you wear on the show.
Rudolph! I could totally be Cornelius.
I really don't care what you wear on the show.
Are you sure about that?
It does not. Are you sure about that? Yeah. It does not matter to me at all.
I have a great job. You sure about that?
All right, Jamal, hit it.